FBA fixation. It's just that FBA fixation. Blessed risings, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of Those Model Citizens, we will be discussing stalker ex-girlfriend caught on video shooting police officer in the face at point blank range. We'll be discussing this and more after these short and brief messages. And we're back. Florida woman caught on camera shooting off-duty officer. Selective justice at play here. I have the video here. We have a little video I'm going to show you. Fair use. Let's make sure we get all that. Because you know how Poop Tube does. Poop Tube. I'm teaching. There's a lesson going on. Pay attention, Poop Tube. You might learn something. You just might. Another shocking act of violence, but once again, we see a system that refuses to apply justice equally. This time, the suspect as Yessenia Sanchez, a 32-year-old former school police officer who was caught on camera shooting her ex-boyfriend, Miami-Dade officer Damian Colon, in the face at point-blank range. Yet despite the clear-cut evidence, where is the outrage? Where is the We Back the Blue? Where is the Blue Lives Matter? Where is the hardline media coverage that we know would be plastered across every headline if she were FBA? See what they got to say. Colon. Colon. Good, look at her eyes. She don't even look normal. Oh, look like Mexico and Mexican crime. All the excuses. Oh boy, them is all the excuses, ain't it? I mean, them is all the. I mean, she must have not been thinking straight. That's all now. She didn't have her follicles together. That's it now. She wasn't thinking straight now. She wasn't putting it all together now. The crime caught in 4K, yet no media frenzy. Authorities say Sanchez walked into Colon's house, got into an argument with him, and then pulled the trigger. No hesitation. The footage released this week shows an execution attempt in cold blood. Now let's flip the script. If this was an FBA woman, the narrative would be dangerous black woman attacks officer. No excuses, no soft headlines, just demonization. She'd be looking at life in prison without parole. No question. No question. We ain't even talking about murder. This would just be off of the fact that she shot a police officer. That's all. But since Sanchez doesn't fit the preferred suspect profile, the media coverage is light and the justice system will probably handle her with kid gloves. But how about her background? Huh? What they won't highlight, right? Right? Because they won't speak bad about her because they know she's just not some random citizen, because we know she's a former school police officer, which they don't want to tell you that part. They didn't mention that, meaning she had training, knowledge of law enforcement protocols, and access to firearms. This makes her crime even more calculated, maybe, because she knew exactly what she was doing and how the system operates, right? Instead of the media highlighting her background as an ex-cop, which shows an even deeper betrayal of public trust, right? They downplayed her actions and focused on the relationship drama. Compare that to how an FBA suspect would be portrayed. Their entire past, even childhood incidents, would be dragged through the mud to justify the harsh punishment. What about the Mexican on Mexican crime aspect? I see a rising trend. I believe this case also raises another issue that rarely gets addressed: the rise in intra-community violence among Hispanic populations. Just like the media goes out of its way to highlight intra-community violence when it happens among FBAs, black on black crime. Where are the think pieces and panel discussions on this trend, Mexican on Mexican crime? Let's talk about it. Why some statistics fluctuate, the increase in violence in incidents within certain communities often gets ignored unless it's politically convenient all of a sudden. But the fact remains, crime is crime, and this is Mexican on Mexican crime, and selective outrage does nothing to improve public safety, because this is a public safety issue, right? We have citizens out here afraid. They're being terrorized. Illegal immigration, right? What is their background? What is their status, right? But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to address that, right? Media, at the end of the day, this case is another example of how the justice system and media chooses when and where to apply pressure, right? When an FBA is accused of a crime, the entire community gets blamed. That person automatically becomes the representative of everyone of FBA lineage all of a sudden. But when someone like Sanchez, right, we suddenly see a muted response, vague reporting, and hesitation to scrutinize all angles, right? Like I said, immigration, no, that's not an angle, right? Right? Because we won't keep the same energy and apply it across the board. Just always some type of soft coverage, always some excuses, but never is it equal. And that's why, boys and girls, what do we learn to here today? Cut the check or hit the deck. And we'll sit this one out, immigrants. Do y'all's thing. But I ain't going to hold you. I'm just going to mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Going to leave you with 4 words as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your vomit, and share if you care, if you dare to get Black empowerment everywhere. We are on all of these platforms that you see in front of you, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Come and take a look. You might get hooked, but don't get shook by those fake Keep It P podcasts that are out there. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. I gotta go ha for sure ha. You already know ha. Big brother like right supreme almighty. Signing off.